Hi everyone, this is a March spring equinox energy update. I wanted to kind of give you guys a list of what's going on energetic wise and what has been happening with the collective and the planet and all the upgrades we are receiving. So to start off, there is a lot of solar energies going on right now. There's been a lot of solar flares recently. The way this is affecting our energetic bodies are that we're going to continue to be able to hold more and more light the more solar energies we've been kind of attuning to. It's not just that the energetic bodies are expanding, it's that we're actually becoming more receptive to how much light we can bring in and hold when these waves kind of come through and when these upgrades are given to us. We can take on more and more light. And I'm also seeing that new energetic systems are being installed. And these energetic systems in the body are actually able to acclimate to the higher timelines a lot easier. So this is kind of a big deal because beforehand it was very difficult for us to actually hold some of these higher frequencies that were associated with these timelines. And that's kind of changing based off of just the difference that our systems are going to be. Basically, our energetic systems are getting upgrades as well, which is allowing us to hold these higher frequencies. Another thing that I'm going to come back to later is that part of this is the damage that has been done to us, if any. Not everyone has experienced this, but a lot of light workers have, where the actual energetic body has been so attacked, not just from this lifetime, but many lifetimes where we may have been reincarnating here, and there's been a lot of darker energies that have slowly kind of degraded certain parts of the light body and done damage to it to the point where it might need to have certain parts of it replaced, like if it can't be repaired. And so what I'm seeing is that the damage is actually being cleared out, and the timelines are being repaired. A lot of the darker timelines or the catastrophic timelines, ascension timelines have won in that regard. We have solidified that, and now it's just this gradual aligning with that, where alignment with that, where before it was we were kind of stuck in between both the darker timelines and the higher timelines. And now that we're all sort of moving to the higher timelines, what's happening is that a lot of those darker catastrophic timelines are being repaired, and with that the light bodies are actually being repaired, and any damage that had been done is being repaired, or energetic systems are being replaced to ensure that we can keep moving forward. So another thing was that our solar receptivity is increasing. So that's what I was getting, is that many of the light codes that we receive during these events are upgrades that are actually passed to us through the sun and through solar energy. We are now being able to hold more of this energy, and when these events happen, we can actually take on more and more light, more and more energy. And I was seeing that it's actually a lot of the codes are being downloaded through the eyes. Like, we're taking our eyes are actually being energetically upgraded to receive more of this light, because that's where we receive it through. So I was getting that our ocular ability to receive these intense higher energies is actually increasing. It's important that we actually are outside around these times and we can actually get as much sunlight as we can. That doesn't mean to just stare directly in the sun, obviously, but it is important for us to actually get the sunlight just from being outside and receiving it just from walking around, and that energy is transferred to us through our eyes, is what I was seeing. The next thing I received was that more timelines with soul family are aligning. Now, this is naturally starting to happen as we hold more light and we're able to hold more light. It is going to feel like everything is falling into place, and there's going to feel like this coming together between energies, between you and other soul family energies. And the way that I would describe soul family, they're actual souls from your oversoul. So it's not, I'm not just talking about soul connections like good friends and stuff. These are actual souls that are coming from the same place as you did from your oversoul. So you can imagine kind of one big sphere, and it kind of from that breaking off, and more spheres, which are just lower consciousness, breaking off and forming new souls to incarnate as, but it's still coming from the same oversoul. That is what the soul family actually is. So this is different than just soul connections. So soul connections would be like another soul group, another oversoul that had broken off, where you might have a lot of relatability with that one, and you might feel very connected to a soul from that oversoul because you might have had past lives with them, or the frequency just might be close. But that's different than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are actual people that you meet that are essentially the same. They come from the same soul as you do, the same larger soul that has been fragmented down into this specific consciousness to experience. So I'm getting that for a lot of people, more and more of those soul families are actually going to be coming together, and this is relative to your expansiveness and how much you're actually upgrading and how much you're actually clearing out and aligning with these higher timelines. The more that happens, the more that these connections are going to start to come in for you. And these connections can look like anything. They can be friendships, they can be romantic interests, but you are going to recognize them as different than other connections. They aren't going to just feel like close friendships or something like that. You are going to recognize it as another manifestation of your soul. Now, one of the big benefits of actually aligning with higher timelines is that the people in your life, and you may have started to notice this, but they are also gravitating towards these higher frequencies and these higher timelines, and they might not know that that's what's happening, but as you exist and you move towards these different realities, the lower dimensional frequencies that people around you may have been in, they're not going to be allowed to carry on. So before, you might have just, it might have naturally, like those people might have moved away from you, but now what's happening is that a lot of those connections you have are actually acclimating to these new realities, these higher realities and these higher energies. So you might notice a big change in maybe family relationships, or closer relationships and friendships where there might have been some discordance or something, and you might have had trouble with some lower density issues between each other. That's all kind of moving out and moving towards these lighter realities. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was actually circling back to earlier when I mentioned that the damage to the light bodies are being cleared out and that timelines are being repaired. So with the light bodies being repaired, we can access our light bodies from higher timelines to repair the damage done. So what's actually happening here? What's happening is that from all the lifetimes we've had, from all of the darker forces that have done damage through different sort of energetic vampiric attacks and energy harvesting and a lot of darker stuff that I'm not going to get into right now, but what happens is it can damage and erode the light body. And when that happens, it creates sort of a vacuum or a space in the energetic system where darker energy can come through and it can manipulate. If you've experienced a lot of dark energy and you've felt that in the body and it's gravitated towards you, it's gravitated you towards darker feelings, emotions, traumas, addictions, stuff like that. A lot of time that's coming from the damage in the light body. But now, as we're moving into these higher realities, the energy of those higher realities, it needs the damage, any damage that was done needs to be repaired. And if it can't be repaired, then the energetic systems need to actually be replaced. So one of the things that you can ask for from your guides or from divine, I refer to the divine Arcturians, the divine Andromedans, divine Lyrians. What I ask for sometimes is that some of the damage that was done, if it can't be repaired, to actually replace the energetic system to align it with one of my higher timelines and my higher future timelines, to align it with one of those where the energetic body and the light body is still intact. And so that way you're basically overlaying a system that's still yours, but it's replacing a part that is already completely destroyed, that can't be repaired. And in that way, I think it is the highest way to do that, and the highest way to stay in energetic alignment is to have it still your light body that's coming in to replace the part that is damaged beyond repair. Because unfortunately there are dangers that come with the damaged light bodies, because it opens up a vacuum where a lot of darker energies can come through. So you need to have like constant protection up, and even with that up, it still creates problems because it disrupts the flow of the light body regardless. So it does need to be dealt with, and it does need to be repaired, and it is best to ask for higher help with this if you aren't sure where to look or turn. But we are all headed in a positive direction in the ascension timelines, and this is just a next step towards the upgrades. So don't be too concerned if you are worried that you have damage in these areas. It is being repaired and replaced, and it might be why you have been, if you have been having sort of a difficult time through this the last portion of March. A lot of clearing, probably a lot of visiting old wounds and stuff. This is all part of the repairing or the replacement of this energy. So I hope this video helped. If you want to get in contact with me for some of my services, I get in touch with your higher self. I see what needs to be worked on with the energetic body and any other messages that come through, and then we actually go in and heal what needs to be done. If you're interested in that, my information is below. Thank you guys for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of March. Take care.